Hey, welcome everybody to episode 2 of Delta to Home. If you missed yesterday, Delta to Home has to do with Star Trek Voyager that got stuck in the Delta Quadrant far from Earth, and they had to finally make their way back home. So the idea is today, how do we get unstuck in life and make our way back home to whatever that might be for us? So as I said yesterday, we're going to go through episode by episode of Star Trek Voyager and see what we can take from those episodes and apply it to our situation today, personally or as a human family feeling stuck right now because of COVID-19. Today we're going to talk about two things on how we can get unstuck, and that is adjusting the angle or the viewpoint and taking risks. So in episode 2 of Star Trek Voyager, it was called Parallax. And at first, the Voyager saw a ship that seemed to be stuck in the event horizon of a quantum singularity. Yeah, I know. I'm a nerd. I'm a science fiction nerd. So they set out right away to go and help this ship. But lo and behold, after sending out a hail that came back to them and magnifying on that ship that was stuck, they realized that they were the ones that were actually stuck looking out at a delayed response of their ship. Don't ask me how all that works, but this is science fiction, right? So the idea is they went from being a ship that was running to the rescue of what they thought was a lost ship or stuck ship to being the ones that were stuck and looking for help to get out themselves. So the idea is changing our viewpoint. So yeah, we're stuck physically. A lot of us are stuck physically at home right now in isolation. But we don't have to feel like a victim. Why not take back control and see this isolation time in a different way? This is an opportunity for you to do all those things that you never had time to do when you were in the normal routine. So maybe, painting a wall or painting, walls in the apartment or house to freshen it up. Maybe moving the furniture around. Maybe getting that project done that you always wanted to do. Maybe starting that hobby that you always wanted to start or restart. Maybe taking that online course that you've never had time to take before. The idea is that when we start changing our viewpoint on a situation, ideas and opportunities come up that were not there before because we felt like a victim. And of course, our emotions are going to change regarding this situation that we're in right now as well. It's not going to be permanent. It's temporary. So why not make the best of the situation now to do something different from what you were doing before and that you never had time to do before? And I guarantee if you change your viewpoint on this situation, you're going to be able to get through it that much easier. We have, as I said yesterday, we have to accept the reality of the situation and make the best of it. So make good use of the isolation time and do something that you never had time to do before. The second thing that we can do to get unstuck is to take a risk. Take control of the situation, as I said a moment ago, but don't let it control you and don't let it make you feel like a victim. So risk and change can be scary, but it can also be exciting. So this is also a time where you can reflect on how your life has been going to date. And I guarantee you that if you're having a hard time right now dealing with a situation, it could simply be because you were not happy in the situation that you were in before, and now you may be facing change that you didn't expect. But why not consider taking a risk and taking control of that change yourself? So going back to Star Trek Voyager, when the starship entered the quantum singularity in the beginning, they didn't realize it. They didn't realize that they were the ones that got stuck. But when they entered, they created a hole in the quantum singularity. And after they entered, that hole started to close. So if they wanted to get back out toward the end of the episode, they had to get back out through that hole. But the time was very limited to be able to get back out there. So what they had to do was they had to, well, I'll quote the captain at the end of the episode. She says, the Captain Janeway of Voyager, she says, "In command school, they taught us to always remember that maneuvering a starship is a very delicate process. But over the years, I've learned that sometimes You just have to punch your way through. And that's exactly what they did. Paris, who is the pilot of the starship, he punched the ship through the collapsing Singularity and got the ship back out into normal space. So if we're all going to survive this isolation and make it through to the other side, we have to take courage, and we have to maybe make some hard decisions and take some risks that we might not have thought of before. What if, and I'm not trying to say this to be negative, but it's reality and it can be exciting. What if that job is not waiting for you on the other side? What if your health situation has changed? What if your financial situation has changed and you lose things? You have to sacrifice things during this time. So it's good to take control and start maybe taking some risks to ensure that things will be better later on. So what do I mean? Well, we can't depend on business as usual. Things are going to be different. So if we can't change what's not in our control, we can change what's in our control, and we can stop feeling stuck. So a risk mentality could mean looking for a complete career change. A lot of jobs will be lost. A lot of businesses may not be able to reopen. So start taking a look at what knowledge do you have? What skills do you have? What abilities do you have that could help other people or that are needed out there in the marketplace? And perhaps even more so now than before because of the change in the world. Maybe you could start thinking of how to tap into that knowledge and those skills and abilities to create a business of your own that could be very successful and maybe something that people will need. It could mean also taking risks and downgrading your lifestyle. We've all kind of gotten used to a standard of living that, again, might have to change. So why not consider maybe moving to a cheaper area or a cheaper place to live, simplifying your life, cutting out unnecessary services and luxuries, and completely taking a different outlook on life. Rather than striving after material things and having the best of everything, changing your whole mindset to being content with life and happiness and people in your life and things like that. I mean, there's all kinds of changes that we can make, and this is a great time to start reflecting on how we can make them. Because to be honest, things just may not go back to the way they were before, and the better prepared we are now to get unstuck, the better we're going to be on the other side, perhaps even more than others. Okay, so 2 things from today is remember to change your viewpoint on the current situation, and don't be afraid to take risks, because it's the risk takers that end up changing their lives for the better. There are boundless opportunities out there waiting for us if we're just willing to take risks and make some changes. So I hope you enjoyed today's Delta to Home, and I will look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.